Did you know that your decision-making capabilities can affect your health? Hey everyone, this is Holly Knudson. I'm a cancer coach, and today I want to talk about decision fatigue and tips that you can take to lessen the load. We've all been there. The endless decisions we're confronted with every day is nothing short of astounding. It wouldn't be so awful if our choices were between black and white. But as you all know, the reality is that we're forced to make decisions involving many shades of gray, and this makes it increasingly difficult to decide on an option. Choosing can be overwhelming to say the least. If you feel like capitulating when you're bombarded with the never-ending decisions coming your way, you may be suffering from a condition called decision fatigue. Are you tempted to make no decision at all by default when you become overwhelmed with too many decisions? The more decisions you're forced to make, the more impaired your judgment may become. It takes too darn much brain power to keep up with it all. Information overload not only impairs your ability to make sound decisions, but to make them in a timely manner. Here are 5 steps to combat decision fatigue and overwhelm. Follow these tips to effectively manage your decision fatigue. Number 1, decision making and problem solving. I don't make important decisions at night, and I think maybe you shouldn't either. My thought processes are not sharp enough to make a good choice when I'm tired. I think decisions, particularly important ones, are best made in the morning after a good night's sleep. Our brains sort and file information while we sleep, so we're best equipped to make decisions after a full night's rest, especially decisions where the outcome significantly matters. I know for me, solutions to intractable problems are far more likely to come when my mind isn't distracted by the constant pressures of the day, or when I'm in multitasking mode, which I typically am in all day, every day. Mornings bring with them renewed perspective, courage, and strength. Number 2, your health, your choice. A big area of decision-making centers around health, including what to eat, if and when to exercise, and what time to go to bed. You can greatly simplify matters by making pre-made decisions in these areas. For instance, have a set time you go to bed every night. The guesswork is then taken out of when to go to bed, as you've already decided. This will reduce your decision fatigue. The same goes for food. I'm a big believer in having routine meals, meaning you choose every day between 2 or 3 different meal options for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Having unlimited choices will give you brain damage. Make a definitive decision that you're going to eat healthy the majority of the time. You won't have to decide between a donut or a cupcake because you already know that those aren't on the menu. Keep your meals simple. Good health does not require fancy meals, only nutritious ones. The same principle applies to exercise. Make the decision at the beginning of the week which days you're going to exercise, where, and for how long. You've now magically eliminated one ongoing decision from your life. By planning when and where you'll exercise, you've totally eliminated this decision of whether you're going to work out or not. Number 3, start living a minimalist lifestyle. Each one of us has a finite supply of decision-making abilities, so the fewer decisions you're required to make, the longer your supply will last. Design your life so many of your decisions are somewhat on autopilot. I've heard that many successful people wear the same clothes. For instance, I know that Tony Robbins wears the same style of clothing day after day and sticks to it. This takes the guesswork out of what to wear, which for many of us is a significant source of decision fatigue. Now, this obviously doesn't mean that he's wearing the same clothes every day, but he's wearing the same style of clothing. Do you see how it's about limiting rather than adding? That's what the minimalist lifestyle is all about. Infinite options are exhausting. People's eyes glaze over when they're presented with too many options. I know when we were building one of our houses, the decisions just kept on coming. Choosing paint color, or plants for the yard, or doorknobs would have been so much simpler if the offering included just two choices rather than a dizzying array of choices. Are our complicated lifestyles serving us? I would say no. Deep down, we all crave simplicity. I know I do. A hectic lifestyle and hurried pace no longer resonate with many of us because they deplete our emotional and mental reserves. Number 4, learn how to delegate. There will be days, in fact, there will be many of them, when your mental resources are sputtering on fumes. You're distracted, your plans are interrupted, and you can't think straight. On these days, I have one word for you: delegate, and then delegate some more. Put your ego aside and realize that you can't and don't have to do it all. And if you try, you'll be ineffective. Take care of yourself by sharing the load. I'm not just talking about tasks here, but decision making as well. Make the necessary decisions that only you can make, and then let other trusted people in your life lighten your burden. Delegate both tasks and decision making in your workplace. If you can afford it, hire a virtual or personal assistant. This will greatly lessen your brain fatigue. You can't be everything to everyone. Actually, you can for a while, but then you will eventually burn out. Nothing is free. Try limiting your options to free up your vital energy. Number 5, do a digital detox. Identify areas in your life where you're getting tripped up and then troubleshoot how and where you can tweak things to make your life more enjoyable. Are you spending too much time on social media? Put a hard limit on the amount of time you spend on it. And when. If the option to browse your Facebook feed at 10 in the morning isn't an option, you'll likely forego the temptation. Of course, you'll have to exercise self-control and discipline, but you can do that. Better yet, if you're in a stressful period and you're short on time, go on a digital detox altogether. It will free up your mental and emotional resources, giving you more time to finish nagging tasks. And remember, decisions have to be made when you're on social media. What will you like? What will you share? Will you comment? Or will you read the next interesting article or save it for later? Will you get on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter? You didn't realize all the decisions that were required of you, did you? I know there are many decisions we have to make outside of our health, clothing, and family, work-related decisions, housing, cars, finances, retirement, relationships. It goes on, and it can be utterly soul-crushing at times. Control the decisions that are within your power to control, and you'll reduce the exhaustion and fatigue you're feeling. It's a catch-22. The more you free up your mental energy, the better you'll become at decision-making, which further frees up more energy, not having to deliberate for hours over your choices. This will be particularly helpful when you have to make practical decisions under pressure. Increase your decision-making capacity by pre-deciding. Decide what you will and will not eat, what you'll wear, and when you'll go to bed. This makes shopping for food and clothes much less complicated and will save you time and energy. Stick to your financial budget. If the money isn't there for that new purchase, the decision is already made. It sounds simple, but pre-deciding frees up your mental resources for the really imperative decisions you'll undoubtedly have to make. And what about those toxic people in your life? Pre-decide to limit your exposure to them, because I can promise you they're draining your mental and emotional resources. Pre-decide every week that you'll devote a certain amount of time for self-care. If you don't plan for it, it won't happen. So schedule you into your calendar. Life requires us to make decisions on a regular basis. Some days are easier than others, and it's really all about preserving mental and emotional energy, which frees up physical energy. When your energy wanes, you'll have less focus, less creativity, and less joy. So it pays to devise a plan to prevent that from happening. Follow the tips above on those days when you can't seem to muster the brain power to make even one single choice. Just knowing that decision fatigue is a thing makes it much easier to deal with. You know that you're not alone. Decision fatigue is real, and it's happening to all of us. Do you suffer from decision fatigue? What strategies have you devised that make this process easier? Let me know in the comment section underneath this video. Thanks so much for watching.